All right, we're good.
Yo, this is sick. We got 3 cameras, yo. Mad official.
That's right.
I'm hyped. Watch the flame.
La Flame, Travis Scott.
La flame.
All right, this is always a nice adventure getting into my chair.
Yeah.
Synced up everywhere, a couple of snaps. What's going on, guys? Welcome back into Psycultural, the podcast
Welcome.
experience on all platforms. My name is Noah Fleites,
I'm Chris Bamberger.
and today we're talking about life.
Yeah.
Broad topic, but we're going to talk specifically about
When you need your life together. When is it time? Is the time coming soon?
Right.
Or it doesn't matter.
or is it down the road, or what did it pass? Are you now is it too late to go back?
Are you washed up?
We're going to discuss that.
Yeah.
So make sure you stick around.
Mm-hmm.
Starting off, me and
Yes.
Chris, we are 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So in the long run, we're very young,
Yeah.
and we still have a lot of time ahead of us.
We both went to the same high school too.
God willing. Right. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. We both went to the same high school. And now where we are in life, let's start with that.
Tell them where you are right now.
So we've been out of high school for about a year and a half, 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And for those years, I don't go to college. I don't have a job, not because I'm a bum, but I live stream video games on Twitch for about half a year, a little bit over half a year. Made some good money off of that. It wasn't for the money though, it's because I truly enjoyed gaming and I wanted to see how far I could take it. Always
Which
into
is pretty
content
cool.
creation. Right, so I put my mind to it every single day for 8 hours. At 6 a.m. I woke up, started streaming, and didn't end until 2 p.m. No breaks in between, and just went hard
That's
for
crazy.
6 months.
I couldn't even play video games for that long.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I tried to really dedicate myself to
Yeah.
it, to get myself into the lifestyle, and it was very successful. You know, I made a good amount of money. I was able to finally purchase things for myself, like new upgrades for my computer, whatever. But I realized by doing that, I learned that that's not what I want to do for life. I realized I started getting very bored of video games. Just it wasn't. But I'm so happy I did it because I learned that that's not what I want to do, and I put myself.
Now
it
you
showed,
know.
Right, and I learned dedication through it. And now I'm working on music pretty much full time, the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Also, just content creation and trying to get into acting.
Yeah.
So all those things, I'm just full sending them. And I'm at home right now. Thankfully, my parents didn't kick me out of my room. I'm just chilling, but I don't bother anyone at home. And
Yeah,
I just
you just
in my
eat their
room,
food.
right? I just eat the food in my room. Though I got all the computer set up, and I just go to work every single day.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing.
That's cool.
Now I want to hear about
So
what you're doing.
when I got out of high school, I went straight to college. I go to Oswego, up north, deep north.
Right.
It's very cold in New York though. And right now I'm a broadcasting and communications major. And I don't necessarily have a plan for what I want to do, like when I get out of college, what I'm like gonna do in the future. But I'm trying to double up my major into film and then maybe minor in entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So I got a lot going on. You know, I got the podcast when I'm home.
Yes.
And I'm philanthropy chair, my fraternity, so I'm in charge of making like charity events. Hopefully I do well. But yeah, you know, I like the creation value and everything and
Right.
putting stuff together.
So, where do you ideally see yourself? This is a question I just like to ask right off the bat. Like in 5 years, let's say, where do you
5 years.
ideally see yourself right now? Like it could change definitely. I know your vision.
I definitely want to be out of my home. So 5 years, new studio.
That's right.
Where do I want to live? Either somewhere fun, like the city or maybe Long Beach.
Okay.
And I want to be maybe not where I want to be for the rest of my life,
Right.
but I want to be in a position where I have the opportunity to grow and I have the chances to be successful.
Right, and just get experience
Yeah.
with a whole new atmosphere. Just like I got bored of streaming on Twitch, you might live in a place for 6 months and decide, you know what,
Not
I
for
want to
me.
go somewhere else. So that's why it's important when you're young. When you're young, you should do like the most. You should take the most risks. You should experiment the most because
Try everything.
this is the golden time when you don't have kids. You know, I'm not saying that kids are a bad thing, but you don't have to worry about paying for them. You don't have to worry about holding down a household and a
Expenses.
wife.
Yeah, like real life shit like
Right.
coming in isn't happening for us yet.
Exactly. So this is a golden time for anyone that's watching and listening. Just keep the perspective that you can fail for the next 5 years. Both of us could, and we would still be super, super young,
Yeah,
less
it
than
doesn't
25 years
matter.
old,
Yeah.
and have our entire life still ahead of us. And that's
for-
5 years is a long time.
For
so
you,
can
like
do a
you
lot.
could decide some 5 years, like, you know what, I don't even like music anymore, and then they go into acting.
That won't happen, but
no. Just like an example,
Yes, an
like
example.
you know,
Right,
go into
exactly.
acting and be like totally successful, and like
100%.
But you would never know if you like did it in music if you didn't try. But,
right.
That's a
100%.
different story.
Yeah, I love music my whole life, so that's
Yeah.
right. That probably wouldn't happen.
Drastic example.
Drastic
Yeah.
example, but that's exactly the point.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So in 5 years' time, I see myself, and just realistically, because 5 years is a good amount of time to get stuff done, definitely seeing some success with the music. You know, whether that be touring or, you know, working with bigger artists, stuff like
Bigger
that for sure.
producers.
Yep, and definitely I want to be in or like actively trying to get into some kind of big film or TV show at that time, working on acting, because those are the two things that I really do enjoy. And that actually brings me to my next thought, unless you have something to say.
No, yeah, you can go.
I'm blessed to know what I'm passionate about at such a young age, and I know 100% like what really gets me fired up. And one of those things being music, like when I work on a beat or something, and I write some lyrics, I'm like, damn, that's dope. And I listen to the song that I made, I get like a feeling that I can't describe. That's passion. Like I get truly fired up.
That's an addicting feeling.
Right. And same with if I'm acting, I see something that I really like that I did, or an audition, and I'm like, damn, we got it.
That's how I feel like when I'm working in school and like I have like a kick-ass week and I'm just grinding like all day, and then the weekend comes and I just have nothing to do, and I'm like, all right, like I can do shit that like I like.
Right.
And it feels good because
knowing what you
all
like.
That weight is lifted now. You know, I don't have any stress from work coming in, and I just feel good. You know.
That's 100%, and that's a very not everyone knows what they're passionate about or what they enjoy in life, and that's why it's even more important to experiment.
Yeah.
When you're a teenager, and that's the main demographic we're shooting for. If you're older though, like let's say you're 30 years old watching this, even 40. You got to understand, you still have such a long time. Like, listen to some Gary Vee.
Do you think by the time, let's say music doesn't kick in until you're 30, do you think it's too late by then?
Absolutely
not. As a
not.
30-year-old, new artist?
Absolutely not. I don't. And some might be like, well, that's crazy. Like, you should just, have a safety net or whatever. I can't see that happening. But let's say it just does. Like, theoretically, crazy, drastic example. I don't think that I should then instead go get a safe job and be miserable for the rest of my life. That is never the option. No. Fun fact, the guy who started Walmart made it when he was around 40 years old. And now it's one of the biggest enterprises.
Yeah, I remember you were saying that off camera.
On Earth.
That was, that's crazy.
So it's like, it's never too late to start. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not worth going to the end game in life with regret. At all, ever.
100%.
So like, just take chances, experiment.
You gotta get rid of plan B if you want plan A to be successful. Right. Because if you're not fully committed to plan A, then there's no reason
way
it
you're
would
gonna
work.
get it. It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
Might as well just go get a day job and just
go get a 9 to 5. See you later.
100%. Yeah, like life, you gotta understand it's a long game. It's important to experiment. It's important to do what makes you happy and not focus on the money. Great quote by Gary Vee. And just because like he talks about this kind of stuff all the time, I can quote him all day, but I'm going to try to not constantly quote him. But one of the things he said recently is if you are a lawyer because your parents pushed you to do that, you thought that's where the money was, it is where the money is, whatever, and you're making $400,000, $500,000 a year, $500,000 a year, but you're not happy because you don't enjoy it, you've lost.
Yeah.
You lost that life. You didn't lose that life permanently, but you're in a losing position where you're at.
If you're not happy, then there's no point in that going on. If you're not waking up every day to be excited to do the job that you have to do,
you're in a losing position, and you got to change something. And the flip side, if you're making $20,000 a year, but you're extremely happy and passionate about what you do, and you're living below your means, but you're fine and everything's great, but you're truly happy, you've won. And you're in a winning position in life, and you shouldn't change a thing.
Also, what if you're on the way to success, but you're not where you are right now, doesn't make you happy.
Okay.
But you know that in the future it could lead to something that will make you happy. Is it worth doing?
My view on that is no, it could be, but I would say that the most important thing is the process. You got to enjoy the process, and that's when you know that even when you get somewhere with it and you see success, you'll love it either way. Like if you love the process, you'll love it when you get there. But if you don't enjoy the process, when you get there, the money and the success that you get from it is not gonna make up for the happiness that's missing, the void. For example, when I make like a song that I really enjoy and I make a beat that I really enjoy and I put it all together and I see the results, like I feel super, super happy. Like I have 0 following right now because I didn't release anything, but I'm like so hyped. Like I'm like, damn, this shit's gonna go hard, and like I can't wait to release more and I can't wait to get better and better. And that's like, I feel like you have to have that kind of feeling going into whatever industry, whatever creative, whatever, exactly. You got to enjoy the process.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's almost like going into it's an investment. It's an investment in the time. So if
Time is important.
if you're trying to be, I don't know, a big movie director,
Right.
you know, you got to be a production assistant, and you got to be like
Work your way
getting
up.
people coffee and shit.
Yes.
And
yeah.
nobody likes doing that.
You got to have
But it's
no
an
shame.
investment in time.
Exactly. And you got to be willing to just do whatever it takes. Like if you got to live in your car and you got to scrape off dollars for lunch, but that's like the necessary thing you got to do in order to chase your dream or goal, you know, like you got to do it and just do it.
Yeah.
And you got to not complain. You got to enjoy eating the dirt in order to enjoy eating the freaking the crystal covered cake, you know?
Yeah.
So 100% it takes dedication, and I think too many people try to go into a comfort zone, and that's why they end up unhappy, is because they just sit in that comfort zone for
So when you do make it in whatever career you choose, what is a sure way to maintain happiness when you're on the top? Because a lot of times you see people who are very successful become very sad,
very sad,
quick.
very depressed. Right. And if me and you were very young, it's very hard to answer that. Even going to someone older, that's it's a hard thing. Psychology is very complex.
Yeah.
It's a person to person basis.
But for you, like, what do you think?
For me,
how would you? Like,
I would honestly say, like, I can't see something that gives me this much happiness and enjoyment, like, kind of stale out. But if it does, like, I'm also very, very grateful and fortunate to have multiple things that I'm passionate about. So I would put more time into acting, and, you know, let's say that somehow I got bored of acting and music, which I can never see happening. I'm into tech, so I'll do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can just always experiment. That's where experimenting comes in.
That leads me to growth, basically. Because what I would say is growing, always reaching to the top. So let's say you're as most successful as you can be. Like, there's always going to be someone more successful.
There's always a ceiling to break.
You gotta keep climbing the ladder, and I think the grind and watching yourself become more and more successful really makes you want to get at it.
Yeah, and if you enjoy the process, like I said, you're gonna love that entire all the way up, from
and
the bottom
process,
to the top.
Yeah, the process may stink. You can answer it. Not answer it.
Who is it? Some random number.
Dude, speakerphone that.
Hello.
Bitch.
This is Total Orthopedics and Sports Medicine calling for Noah to remind you that you have an appointment with Dr. Brett Spain on Tuesday, January
All right. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Great. We're doing a podcast, so great. Thanks. She's so nice. She's so nice. Lovely lady.
I don't have my phone. Just
well, your phone's being used for
no, that's Angle. What up? Yeah. So when you start off on the bottom, it can be hard to to be motivated, because growth
it seems
takes
like the top
time.
is so far away.
Exactly. And you get unmotivated when you don't see constant success coming in, because there's a long time with a lot of jobs and with a lot of like big opportunities, you have to grind at the bottom to even get a chance at the top.
Right, 100%. And that is where it comes down to the character. You got to actually walk the walk. I think we're coming on to the time, so this is a good time to wrap it up. And I think the best thought and idea to walk away with is to walk the talk. And matter of fact, don't even say or talk at all what you're gonna do.
Shut the hell up.
Just go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, too many people talk about it. Like, for example, like, I'm working on music, and just a lot of my peers who are also working on music, they'll always post on Instagram. They'll talk about, yo, I got this new hit coming out. Yo, like.
But they didn't even write the hit yet.
Whatever. They didn't even write it, or it's
like
not even made yet. But they're constantly flexing, or they're saying all these different things, and they're just talking big, and they're, you know.
You talk big when you are big.
Right. I prefer just going into work and just letting the results speak for themselves. I don't like the facades and fakeness that people put on. And
I agree. You want to let the numbers do the talking, you know?
Numbers do the talking, the results,
if you
the work.
prove that you are, like, statistically and actually better than your competition, then no one can say anything. No one can say anything.
It's never worth talking. It's never worth talking ever. Like, and then people are saying, like, oh, one day I'm gonna start a hair business, but you know what? My job gets in the way, or you know, I can't right now because I'm babysitting. So then quit your damn babysitting job. Tell the kid to go somewhere else. All right, put him in daycare.
Tell
or something.
that 4-year-old to F off and go get a hairstyle.
Like, straight up though, people make excuses. People will talk. People will say what they want to do. Just do it. All right. It's like the Nike slogan. Just do it. Yeah. We're not sponsored, by the way, but we're gonna throw up a Nike logo right now. Look at that, beautiful. Just do it.
No.
All right, we'll take it out. For real though, me and Chris, you know,
two separate outlooks on
Yes.
life, but we both kind
similar
of have the same
because
goals.
both creative
Yeah.
mindsets, and we're both willing to do what it takes.
We're both taking separate paths, but
Yes.
we want similar goals. Right? Sort of.
I think okay,
It makes sense. You'll get it.
maybe.
It made sense in my head. It makes sense in someone else's.
yeah. Someone out there, comment down below if that made sense in your head. Thank you
get
guys
ripped on.
so much for tuning into this podcast.
Mhm.
If you want more, we can always go back to a topic on like another podcast episode where
Yeah,
we
let
like
us know if you want
extended versions of
Yeah.
podcasts.
Maybe a part 2 on life.
Exactly.
Follow us on all social media, Psycultural.
Yes.
We're gonna be
TikTok,
posting everywhere.
Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If you're listening audio, we're on YouTube. We're on all those video platforms. And if you're listening to us on YouTube, we are on the podcast apps as
Yep.
well. So everywhere,
We'll
hit
see
us
you
up.
same time next week.
Comment down below some more suggestions. And yes,
Same time next week. See
peace
you guys
out.
later.
Stay amazing.
Boom. All right.